It is Book Review Sunday, and today's two books both fall under science fiction. One is a YA adventure, the other a sci-fi romance. So let's get started with book number one, Out of Body by Kimberly Baer. Those weird dreams Abby Kendrick has been having, turns out they aren't dreams after all. They're out-of-body experiences, like the ones her cousin Logan is having. At first, Abby has fun with her new ability, using it to spy on her neighborhood crush and spook a mean girl. But when Logan gets in trouble on the astral plane, the game changes, and Abby must bend the rules of out-of-body travel as she journeys to a distant realm. Her mission is a perilous one, and success is not guaranteed. Can she save Logan and find her way home again? Or will the cousins be lost forever on the astral plane? I give Out of Body 4 stars. What I liked. I like the world building of out of body experiences. I have never read a story where that is the main theme or the main plot. And I'd never really truly understood what that meant. I'd heard people use the term before. Um, Someone mentioned I might have had one during one of my labors. I'm not really sure, but I really like what Kimberly does for her story. So, in her story, the characters who can have an out of body experience, and they call it OBE in the book, is basically they fall asleep and their spirit leaves their body, but they're still alive. And so their spirit can go wherever they want and they can travel much faster than even an airplane. And so you could literally go to the other side of the world and sightsee and become kind of an invisible spiritual tourist and still make it back to your body before it's time to wake up the next day. Now, some layers to this, at least in this story, is that they, while their spirit is away from their body, they can't wake up at the snap of the fingers. Um, though their body starting to wake up will pull their spirit back super fast. But what the characters experience is that by the time they do wake up, their parents or someone else has been trying to shake them awake for several minutes. So it takes minutes to call your spirit back to your body. And another part of the world building that's going to be a part of the danger and the risks for the story is that the farther you are physically from your body, the longer it takes to wake up. And so when they start to leave planet Earth and explore the solar system and beyond our solar system, that's where the danger is going to start to creep in. The next thing I like is this Mean Girls vibe, meaning the movie Mean Girls. I'm of that generation and I still love that movie and have some of my favorite lines. So there is this scene where the main character Abby is it's before she realizes she's having an out of body experience and she thinks she's just dreaming. And the three mean girls at her school are having a sleepover and she's kind of watching them from their ceiling. And they're going through their yearbook and next to people's pictures they're writing cool or not cool. And burn book, right? And they get to Abby's picture and they're like, is she cool? Like, I mean, she's not terrible, but, so they're kind of going back and forth. And then Abby wakes up or her spirit returns to her body before she can, um, before she can learn what they write in the yearbook. And so when she finally learns how to use out of body experiences, she's going to go back to that girl's room and look through that girl's yearbook to find out if they determined if she was cool or not cool. And the answer is not going to make her happy. I like the what I'm calling the Disney Channel type lesson here. So, um, basically, with this type of storyline, the youthful characters have a lot of feelings and obsessions and passions, and so they don't want to listen to the adults in their lives, and usually some catastrophe happens that leads them back to listening to their adults in their lives. And Abby's going to go through a similar experience, particularly when it comes to what type of friends she should be having, and um, how she should be treating people. She isn't a bully or a mean girl by any stretch of the imagination, but she definitely makes some major mistakes, trying to create what she thinks is the group of friends that she should be having in order to survive high school. And she's going to learn a great lesson and has a pretty good ending for her. Next thing I enjoyed is it leaves us at the end with this question of how much should we get involved in an ecosystem in terms of either trying to save it or control it. So Abby and Logan visit this other planet that's well outside of our solar system, well outside of our universe, really. And Logan befriends one of the species on there that are a prey species. And so he's trying to help protect them from their predators. And some of the choices made, I'm not going to go into detail because I don't want to ruin the book, and I think you should read it because this was a wonderful story. Some of the decisions he makes are not going to be great for that ecosystem. Other species will suffer, but he's so focused on saving this one species that he doesn't notice the larger butterfly effect of what he's doing. And that, I mean, I don't have the correct answer. I'm not a scientist or anything like that, but it did made me, think, how much should we get involved in an ecosystem on our own planet? Um, Obviously, there are things humans have done that are good and some things humans have done that are not great. Uh, but it is a good question to ask. How much should we get involved, and what are the larger consequences of our involvement? Now, there were a couple things, or I think really only one thing that, and this is all on me, this isn't on the author. It really can't be controlled. I just wish I could have had a better connection to Abby. I'm not like I wasn't like Abby at all when I was a teenager, so I really struggled to understand some of her motivations and her choices. And so this created a great challenge for me to um, learn how to understand that type of person because it's not me. Um, but it took me well into the book to realize I needed to be a bit more understanding. I just didn't connect with her as much as I have other characters in other books, but that's not the author's fault. It's just who I am as a reader versus who that character is, and that's going to happen with all of us. So this isn't a romance, but there is a romantic subplot, and so that heat level for the romance that pops up here and there is sweet, and it's a cute ending. I really enjoyed that. So next we have Alien Survivor Stranded on Galadia. I hope I pronounced that correctly, by Juniper Leigh. Tall, broad, breathtakingly handsome, Donovan Tell Dorian is all of the above. He's also an alien. Will Ara Cross fall for him? Dr. Araceli Cross has her reservations about leaving Earth for one of the colonies on the planet Galadia. But her medical and genetic expertise is required. Besides, it's not like she's going alone. Her fiance and head of the scientific research organization that employs her will be there as well. But all is not as it seems on the planet's surface, nor as her developed boyfriend would have her believe. Upon crash landing after an ambush attack, Ara is rescued by a gorgeous native named Donovan Darian. Galadian in origin. He's rippling with defined muscles that make him look as though he were carved out of stone. Will Ara fall for Donovan and turn everything she has come to know upside down? I give this book 4 stars as well. So, what I liked. Our female main character is a scientist. We don't get that a lot. We get a lot of bartenders, teachers, hairstylists. When we get onto the more male dominated industries with fiction, we have a lot of female lawyers. And so it was fun to have a female scientist be the main character. And she is very, very intelligent. So her background is she's kind of a prodigy. So she's young. She went to college early. She got her PhD very, very quickly. She is a genius. And she gets hired by really the best genetic company in the galaxy, not just on Earth, but in the galaxy. And so her role is to try to crossbreed humans with this other alien species, Galadians, because they heal faster and they don't really have any diseases that they catch. And so they're trying to make humans unable to, get cancer and stuff like that. And so her role is to develop a crossbreeding program and then study the offspring of these couples and then determine if this is a pathway for the rest of mankind. This story is full of conspiracies and traitors. So there are groups that are against this crossbreeding, both Galadians and humans who want to keep their species pure blood. And so they are against this, and it's believed they are the ones who attack the ship that causes Araceli to crash land on the planet Galadia. And this will give away the end, so I won't tell you who, but some of the traders are pretty high up in the company she works for. There's one thing that I struggled with, and it's what I'm calling gray lines in her relationship. So at the very beginning of the book, she is dating I think he's the CEO. She's dating the CEO, and he is the son of the founder of the company, who was the original CEO. And he proposes to her in the first chapter, but she never actually says yes. She's a little overwhelmed, but she doesn't say no either. And so he just assumes that they're engaged and puts the ring on her finger and starts telling people they're engaged. And so he does this engagement announcement. And so even though she never said yes, she believes she's engaged because he put the ring on her finger and announced it to the galaxy. And right away, I remember when I was reading that part, I'm like, dude, she didn't actually say yes. You're not engaged. And I wish that she was stronger at that moment in being like, wait, I haven't said yes yet. I haven't said no, but I also haven't said yes. And, but that is part of her character development. And because even though she's intelligent, even though she's this top scientist, she owes her job to this man and his mother. And so she's kind of been groomed by them to do what they say. And so I can see why she just went along with it, but I'm also like, you didn't say yes. So you're not actually engaged. And so when she starts to develop feelings for the alien who rescues her, she feels like she's um, cheating. And I guess you can argue that she is because she was still the guy's girlfriend, but she thought that he died. She thought that he died in the crash and that when the ship exploded, and he thought she died. And so I don't think that you can count that if you think the other person is dead. And when she realized he was alive, then she did, you know, try, then she worked on getting back to him so that she could break up with him. So there's a lot of gray areas, and I can understand if some people feel like it's too, if it does cross a line for them. It was definitely iffy for me, I will admit. Um, but I'm still hooked on that. She didn't say yes to the proposal, so she's not engaged. Anyway, and I also wish that this was the start of a series. It ends um very, it's a cliffhanger. The end, I mean, there is a resolution, but it also can definitely lead into something else. And maybe the author is working on a sequel and I just have no idea. And then when it's released, I'll eat my words. Um, but from what I've been able to look up, I cannot find a sequel. So I hope the author is working on a sequel because it's a very, very good first book. And the heat level for the intimacy scenes is sensual. So if you like science fiction, if you like adventure, traveling to other planets, and you like a romantic subplot or a full blown romance, check out Out of Body and Alien Survivor. And I will see you next time. If you've read either of these books and would like to leave your own thoughts and reviews in the comments, please do so. If you haven't, I would love some recommendations for books that are similar. Also, click that subscribe button so you can get notified on my next video. See you next time.